Alright guys, I'm back with another tutorial. I go by Blessed by Abe. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever time you guys are watching this. I hope you guys like this haircut. What I'm about to do is I'm about to do a bald fade, drop bald fade, mid drop bald fade to be exact, on my nephew Isaiah. What I'm gonna do now is use a straight 3 open and take all the bulk off. Now, I talked to Isaiah before. He picks his haircuts every time. I've been cutting him since he's been 4 years old, so he can stay in the chair nice and as long as I want. So I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my trimmers to set my first outline. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the ear, give it like a little half a rainbow, and then I'm going to go under the occipital bone. So I'm going to do the other side, just connect it all the way at the bottom. So it's more like a drop mid fade instead of just going straight across. I'm going to start taking all the bulk off, all the excess hair that we don't need. Remember, take your time. With kids, you just want to be a little bit more careful just because the trimmers or your clippers are a little bit sharper than normal. So I suggest for any new barber, just go a little bit slower. Right now, I'm going to use my wall balders with the foils and just set my first guideline. Just get that extra smooth finish. Once I hit that, I'm going to use my JRL clipper lever all the way open to set up my second guideline. And I'm just following my first guideline with the trimmer. I'm just going over the ear, under the occipital bone, and then back around over the other ear. Remember to flick out at the top. You don't want to set a new guideline. Take your time. Make everything equal. What I did was about 3/4 of an inch as my guideline. And right now, all I'm going to do is just start flicking away with my corner of my blade and just hitting the levers. Now, the JRLs do have a lever on them. So if you are a beginner, I suggest you get those just because the lever has notches. And with those notches, you are better not to get lost, or it helps you guide the haircut a lot better. So now that I did one side, I'm going to go under the occipital bone. Now with a lot of young kids, because they are younger and they are, smaller, the back of the neck sometimes has a little indent. Sometimes barbers can't get it out. All you have to do is just let the child know, put your head down. Just put your head down and that indent will go away. A quick little easy tip. So now, as you can see, I'm just using the corners. Once I go back down, I use the right side of the corners. When I come back up, I'm using the left side of the corners. Just softening up that guideline. There's no rush. You don't need to freak out. The guideline will come out. Next, I will use my one closed to set the next guideline. And as you can see, again, I'm going over the ear and then under the occipital bone. All I'm doing is just flicking out little by little. Now, because he does have dark black hair, it's easier for me to go shorter on the sides because it still keeps that dark and fullness. Remember, clean your canvas, use a brush, use a comb, use a blow dryer, an air compressor, a neck duster, use whatever you can just to get all that hair out so you can see. So now I'm using my 1/16 and I'm just using the lever, just little by little, just closing it up. You can't see it right now, but I'm closing it when I go out. Oh, there you go. Opening it back up, going to the next section, closing it little by little. I'm really trying to emphasize you guys seeing the clipper and the notches just so you guys understand what I'm doing. Just little by little, softening up that guideline, hitting the corners. You see how he put his head back up? All you have to do is just tell them to put their head down and that little indent goes away. All I'm doing is still just going under the occipital bone and just little by little just closing that lever and just flicking out that guideline. Now, if you see, I have to do one side different than the other because his hair lays down differently. Whatever the hair is laying down, you go against it. So if it's going left, you flick out right, if that makes sense. You always want to go away from the hair follicle so you can get that nice blend. Next, I'm going to use the 1.5 closed, set my next guideline. Now, Isaiah, I've been cutting him. He's about 9 years old. I've been cutting him since he's 4. I can move his head around. I can take my sweet time, and he will not move. It's a good thing that he's been getting haircuts as a young age, so he's used to this. He's a lot more better than the veteran barbers that have little kids or have grown-ups that move. This guy will not move. He loves his haircuts. Now that I finished my 1.5 guideline, I'm going to use my 1 open. And again, just flick at it, lighten it up, go all the way lower and lower with the lever. Take your time. I can't stress that enough. I know a lot of barbers, they can't get that line out and they panic and they just start rushing it or trying to push the line up. Take your time. There's no rush. Remember to fold the ear just so you can get a better angle of the fade. Little by little, all we're doing is just softening up the occipital bone at the bottom where the hair is. As you can see, that ridge right there in the neck is lower, so I don't need him to put his head down anymore. Remember to flick out. Don't just rake. Don't just go up. Remember to flick out at the top. Little by little, I'm just closing that lever, trying to soften up that guideline. With the lever, all you can do is just keep going lower and lower just to get that nice effect of the blurriness. Now, you guys let me know. Do you guys like these angles? I've been trying to get different angles and different views for you guys so you guys can get the tutorials better. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like these angles. So since I used the 3 to take the bulk off, what I'm doing right now is I'm doing the 2 open and just softening up that guideline, and I'm going to fade it down just so I can get some darkness at the ridge and at the top of the side of his hair. Little by little, as you can see, I'm flicking out a little extra so I could give it more of that blend. You can already see on the corner of his C cups, it's already blending out. Remember, at the top, never just go up with the fade. Try and flick out so you can get as much of the blur or as much as the blend possible. Little by little, it's already fading out. That flick really does help. Don't forget to flick out. So all I'm doing is just using my 1.5 after I use my 2, and I'm just flicking out that guideline, just softening it up. As you can see, it's already going away. Now, with a lot of men, with a lot of kids, just anyone in general, the back of the head, for whatever reason, always stays darker. So you might see me use a 1.5 to get that guideline out and the guideline's still there. No worries. Use the 1 open and just tap at that line. If that line doesn't come out, you can always use the half guard, aka the 1/16, and just again tap at that line. All we're doing is just softening up the last of the guidelines. Next, what I'm going to do is at the front, because he has bulk, I'll use a 3 and just flick out just to get those excess hairs. Barbers is a good little secret. Always use a 2 or 3 at the lineup if they have longer hair, just to get that extra bulk off. Now, every time Isaiah comes, he always asks me for a hair design. Every time. He doesn't care what it is. He just wants a freestyle. He wants a nice, crisp hair design. So after I line up Isaiah with my Li Low Babyliss trimmers, and I don't think I've done this before on YouTube, I'm going to do a freestyle hair design. This is going to be a first look of me ever doing a freestyle hair design on YouTube. A big tip for clients: when you see them getting their hair cut and they keep moving or whatever the case is when they're getting lined up, just tell them to close their eyes. Once they close their eyes, it's a little bit more easier. You see that bulk? I'm using my Hanzos just to get that excess hair. Now, I just thought about this freestyle real quick. Nothing too crazy. I do suggest you practice first before trying it on a client. Now, I've been doing hair designs for now over 10 years, so this is nothing new to me. I'm glad you guys finally got to see me do these. Let me know if you guys like these designs. I can start doing a lot more. So right now, I'm going to do is just a light little, you feel me, just a little lineup, a little design, something cool, nothing too crazy. Usually I'll do a hair design that's faded into the haircut. This time I just decided to do a design with the haircut already inside. Now what I usually do is I'll set the first guidelines up, and as you can see now I'm going down. Why I go down? It's because the hair design, even if you line it up going like that, just straight, when you look at it, there's still chunks of hair not fully lined evenly. So the haircut or the hair design always doesn't look fully finished. So what I do is I go back down and really straighten that line up at the top and at the bottom. A lot of barbers just line it up at the top. If you really go down and go with the design going down with it, it makes it a lot cleaner. YouTube, you guys let me know that I borrowed my nephew. You guys like the design. You guys like the haircut. You guys like the fade. Let me know. This is a 6 on top with a mid-bald drop fade with a freestyle hair design. Let me know if you guys like it. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I go by Blessed by Abe. I appreciate you guys every time for tuning in. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night.